Howdy folks, it is the end of September and I'm still having a great time here in Enon doing the whole JET and assistant language teacher thing. It's been about 2 months now, still in that honeymoon period, and helped teach several English classes for the entire month at this point. It's been an absolute blast. I'm loving life. It's just great, having a great time. Don't really have any complaints right now that aren't any just like minor things that I would have wherever I was. So that's kind of just the big general update. As far as things that have gone on recently, Saturday we had a carnival that was run by the elementary school and middle school kids in one of the nearby towns. They're actually Landon's kids, not mine, but that was a lot of fun. We went out there. There were like arts and crafts type things. There was stuff for sale that the kids had made, so they had like their own snacks that they had made. We had fruit parfaits and cookies, and they had like little craft stations where the kids would walk you through making keychains or putting together some Gundam construction kits. So it was like by the kids, for the kids. They also had like a little skating area out in the front where they had a specific time where the younger kids could go and get tips from the older kids on how to ride skateboards. It's really cool, really cute, a lot of fun. And then so we spent most of the day Saturday hanging out there. And then on Sunday, there was actually a Showa era car show in Enon, which, man, that was a treat. So many people came out. It was just a ton of people coming out to our city, more than I've ever seen in Enon. All kinds of just really cool cars. There were a lot of older cars that I had never seen before. The aesthetics were just wild, and it was really, really neat to see the 70s and 80s era cars from Japan on display. In addition to the cars that were in the parking lot, a lot of people that came to visit the car show also came in their older cars. So a lot of the parking lots nearby had older cars that were just brought out to bring the people to look at the cars that had actually entered into the car show. So just a blast overall. After that, we actually went hiking out to a waterfall nearby, which was a really beautiful hike. And rather than really kind of just tell you about it, I'm going to show you the hike, the footage that I took on the hike, while I talk about my primary topic for this video, the school lunches in Japan. For those of you who don't know, I signed up to eat the Kyushoku, which is the school lunch menu for my schools. All of the schools that I go to get their lunches made at the same facility, and every day just about everybody eats the same meal. Similar to buying a school lunch in the cafeteria in American schools. There's, however, quite a few differences in Japanese lunches compared to what I remember from school. First, one of the biggest differences is that the kids serve the food. Every day there is a rotating group of students that are the designated lunch staff for the day. They will portion out the food and serve everyone. Unlike in America, where all the food is put onto like a single tray, each portion of the food is served in a designated dish, and there is always a salad, a soup, a protein, and rice, each of which will have their own dish type. Sometimes two of the items will be served on the same dish, like on curry day, where the rice and the curry is combined, but everyone has the same set of dishes with the same food in them. There's also apparently a correct way for the dishes to be on your lunch tray. One of the students corrected my own tray on one of the first times I ate lunch with them, and since then I have paid attention to how the kids put the food on the tray and made sure I do the same thing. The next big thing is that no one starts eating until everyone has their food. In my middle school, the entire school eats in the cafeteria, while in my elementary schools, the students will eat in their classroom. In either case, everyone gets a tray of food and has it at their seat and waits until everybody is seated before the group says the traditional phrase of itadakimasu, which is basically just saying thank you for the meal before everyone starts eating at the same time. In my middle school, students will actually go through the line multiple times to put together trays and put them at the seats where the students who are either running late or are working the lunch line will be sitting, so to kind of speed the process up to make sure that everybody has their food, and that's it. So everyone's gotten to their spots and said their itadakimasus, then you get to dig in and eat. But you've only got about 30 minutes left in lunch at this point, so there isn't much chit-chat during the eating time as everyone gets through their meal. It's a ton of food. I actually usually ask for slightly less than normal because another big difference from my school is the expectation that there is no wasted food. The kind of philosophy is that you finish everything on your plate, and then all the food that's sent to the school will be eaten. So this is something that varies depending upon placements. Some of the other ALTs I've talked to have told me that their schools aren't as big on this one, but at my school, they want to make sure that everything gets eaten and that nobody leaves anything on their plates. It does mean that after the trays are set up, that all the leftover food is spread out across the students. And it leads to some fun situations where one of the teachers will walk around with either the extra soup or the rice or the extra protein, and all the students will try not to make eye contact with the teacher because they don't want the teacher to give them the extra servings. After you're done eating, you stay at your seat until the end of lunchtime, where there's a different traditional phrase. This is gochu so-sama, which is another way of saying thank you for the food. But the entire cafeteria or classroom will say that, and that's the point at which you can then get up from your seat and clear your plate. So everyone will clear their own plate. They will sort the dishes into the receptacles that all of the dirty dishes will go into. They make sure to actually fold up their milk cartons to dispose of them, and the milk cartons have little instructions on them on how you fold them up, and everybody kind of does that. I've actually really enjoyed lunchtime because I sit at a different table each day and get a chance to talk to the kids not in class. I've been trying to keep the conversation simple and alternate between practicing my Japanese and letting them practice English. If I just do English, it tends to kind of stifle any kind of conversation because the kids are not comfortable with English at all. So I will alternate between the two as we're talking. And everybody's still a little bit shy, but slowly everybody's starting to open up, which has been great. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my experiences with Japanese school lunch. So thank you for watching. As always, if you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below, and I will be happy to either answer them or include them in a future video. Until next week, safe travels.